engaging celebrity interviews, exciting updates from Christian filmmakers, movie reviews so you can choose your movies wisely, and so much more here on Faith on Film with Isaac Hernandez and Holly McClure.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Faith on Film. I'm Isaac Hernandez, and I'm here with my co-host, Holly McClure. Hello, Holly.
Hello, Isaac. Loving your background. Boy, I tell you, we're just like stepping up, aren't we?
Hey, we sure are.
Fine-tuning our studios. Look, there.
My wife Gladys had been wanting to kind of redo my studio, and I actually left. I left for about 4 days, and I came back, and voila, there it was.
Voila! And I like the look, and it goes for mine. We are styling in our studio.
We're getting there. But you know what? We have a very exciting show today, because first of all, we had somebody who's been a friend of mine for a long time, and yours as well. He's actually our attorney, okay? He is the attorney for our show and for myself personally. But Joel Bunkowske is an entertainment attorney. He's a producer, and he's the co-founder and CEO of 3 Days Studios, and he's going to be here along with George Escobar, who is also a director, producer, writer, and the co-founder and chief creative officer of 3 Days Studios. And
George, I've interviewed
something exciting they're doing.
I've interviewed George for years in his film, so he's been a filmmaker for years and years, and really so has Joel now. I mean, quite successfully. Got a lot of film projects, and together they got together, and they're doing something exciting, and we have a little trailer to show about it, don't we?
Well, let's take a look at that now.
You've probably felt it. The world's moving faster than truth can keep up. Every screen's a battleground, every story a sermon, whether it admits it or not.
And in this flood of AI mush and clickbait noise, something quiet but urgent rises. This isn't nostalgia, it's PRAIRIE Winds, the flagship series from 3 Days Studios. And this is your chance to stand behind it.
Not a content farm, not a distribution shell, but a studio that knows where it stands, who it serves, and why stories matter more now than ever.
We don't need louder voices, we need true ones. The world doesn't need more content, it needs meaning.
After hosting The Chosen, we knew that Capernaum Studios was meant for more stories of faith. Like us, the founders of 3 Days Studios are proud patriots, and they have a passion for preserving American history. PRAIRIE Winds reflects everything that we stand for: faith in action, truth with grace, and stories that revive. It's a series that we are proud and excited to be a part of.
If you are watching this video, we just wanted to give our support for their show, their company, their series.
PRAIRIE Winds.
PRAIRIE Winds.
It is a good show. I like that entertainment that really gives you a look into life more in almost like a bygone era. It's like an old friend.
An old friend.
A very comfortable old friend. And you meet it. And so I believe this project is going to do everything like that and far beyond. Yeah. I think it's going to really impact the culture in a mighty way.
Yeah, we're excited about PRAIRIE Winds, everything that the guys are doing over there. We can't wait to get started. We're going to put our best teams. Yeah. You guys do The Chosen.
Just letting yourself a solid citizen, I would not like to see any...
Can one act of defiance?
It's going to be the best Christmas pageant ever.
We want to wrap around this show with the very best we have now.
Yeah, and these guys are doing a great project, and they can deliver.
Yeah.
So they will deliver a good show. So I think anybody who's interested should jump into this, because I think it's a chance to change the culture in so many ways and point people to God in all different kinds of ways.
What if faith-based films weren't the exception, but the standard? That's not our slogan. That's the future we're working toward.
200 bushels of corn from our own land.
At a time when freedom belonged only to the brave.
Glad you came back to Santaland this year.
Is that the bracelet your grandma gave you?
Yep, it's got sayings on it.
True beauty is here.
We're all on a journey. It seems somewhere along the way I took a wrong turn.
Here's the situation. You invest, we build. This isn't equity. No board seats, no spreadsheets, just a clean revenue share. Simple, old school, fair. We're not reinventing the wheel. We're turning it in the right direction.
Why now? because every cultural revolution begins with a story, and every great story starts with someone willing to back it.
Not with outrage, with action. You're not funding a project.
You're equipping a generation of creators to speak truth through art.
Let's not lose this moment. Let's make the kind of films our kids will thank us for.
Let's build the standard, invest now, and tell everyone you know, let's do this together.
Well, you can see it's an exciting project they're working on. Welcome to George Escobar and Dr. Joel Bunkowske. You guys, I'm excited about this new project you have and your 3-day studio. Tell us about it. What is this? How did this project come to be? And what is it you're doing? It's really going to have a lot of people excited about good television, good movie again.
Well, Prairie Winds, I think, is going to be an amazing show. It's a family show, and it came about. George and I were at the Johnny Cash Farm here in Nashville, and some folks there started talking about Little House on the Prairie, and it just kind of kicked in. I thought, oh my goodness, Little House on the Prairie, that would be a great idea for a Christian show. So why don't we do something kind of in that space? The prairie, we have settlers coming in. They have all kinds of different difficult things that they have to go through, whether it's the weather or homesteading or different adversaries that they have to encounter during their ability to go onto the prairie and make a home. So I talked to George about it, and he was like, oh, yeah, that is an absolute great idea. And so we discussed it for a little bit, and then George, he just jumped into the script. He wrote 3 episodes that actually are all going to come together as a feature film. And I'm going to just pass it over to George a little bit. Well, we ended up starting 3-day studios, our own studio, and I'll get to George just a minute. But I have been an attorney here in the Christian film space for over 25 years, and God has just blessed that work beyond my wildest dreams. And originally, I started off as a television producer. So this is bringing me back to where I started before I ever became an attorney. And George has just, what an amazing co-founder and partner of 3-day studios he is. He is just brilliant at what he does. And he wrote the script. George, take it away and tell him a little bit about the script.
Yeah, the landscape of the prairie and the settlers coming into it. You mentioned the weather a little bit, but it's really this opportunity to tell stories where God is central to that adventure, because we're dealing with his creation in this story. And so that was the source of inspiration, which is to find what brought people there, why they're there, what's God's purpose for their life. They discover it along their journey, how they get along with their neighbors, how they get along with each other, as well as the technology that's coming in. The 1870s is when this takes place. And that was like the start of the Industrial Revolution. So a lot of the things that we struggle with now with high tech and AI and all that stuff, and the difficulties in our society and having to deal with new things is exactly what this family is going through. So it's historical, but it's also contemporary. But central to that, and the most powerful thing about it is God, Jesus is eternal. His truth is the truth, no matter what time, what era, what people. And so every episode actually begins with a reading of scripture by one of the youngest members in the cast. In this case, it's Emma Thompson. She's 11 years old, and she's trying to learning to memorize the Bible, being taught by her parents, John and Martha, and supported by her older brother, Daniel. And that's the core of the family dynamics. But there's lots of other people that come into their life as they find themselves in the middle of nowhere, in the midst of a thunderstorm and lightning, and God shows up because he strikes down this tree that is in many ways ceremonial for the Native Americans that are there. And they witness this and they go, whoa, that's a miracle that family didn't get destroyed. And from that moment on, they have a little bit more respect and reverence. Okay, maybe the Lord God, they recognize that, God as the creator has something special for this family. And the family begins to realize that themselves. And that's where they make their home, is where this lightning strikes this tree. And that becomes the marker for the start of the Prairie Winds.
Wow. I love the fact that, we had Little House on the Prairie. A lot of people grew up with Little House on the Prairie. And, it's still showing on some stations, some TV shows. So generations, in fact, I think they just had a reunion. But, and that was wonderful because it was a whole different era of America as well, and of television. But people loved that it centered around family and the little things going on. But I hear this is different. This isn't going to just be like a knockoff of that. This is a whole different kind of feel. And I love that you've got this incorporated and the faith in it. But it's probably going to have some drama. You're obviously dealing with Native Americans, the Indians, as well as the settlers and people that first came in. Where does this take place? Is there a specific area in the country?
It's going to take place somewhere in the Midwest.
Okay.
And it also looks at the Civil War because, Civil War ended just 5 years before, in 1865, when this story starts. So the remnants of that war and the effect of that war to the families, in particular John Thompson, is very present in the story. Just like, again, contemporary times, we lived through things that nobody expected, like COVID. So disease was rampant during the 1870s and 1860s. Wars, again, bringing back that contemporary. So when you watch this, you can really relate to it and still learn about historical America and how Americans came together from all sorts of parts of the country, all ages, to this melting pot that is in the Prairie. And that's what makes it very, very interesting. And in many ways, much deeper than Little House on the Prairie because of that. And also, Little House on the Prairie, when we began this, had not been resurrected for 40 years for all sorts of legal reasons. And then about 6 months after we began our work, Netflix announces they're going to reboot it. Which is really interesting because, some of the people that they brought on board, the showrunners, they made some, to my perspective, some very questionable type of material.
Yes.
So we'll see what they do. I wish them the best, but we know that the Lord is in the project that we're working on.
And that's the way it is in Hollywood. Sometimes, you see 2 or 3 films with the same theme in the year, or 2 or 3 Supermans, or it happens. But again, this is on a very different level. It'll be seen by a different audience as well. Where are you thinking about filming? And I have to smile because I actually know you came to Capernaum Studios and kind of checked it out. We are, by the way, folks, on 40 acres, Capernaum Studios, just west of Fort Worth. Rolling hills, beautiful terrain, and then we have a 2,700 acre ranch across the street. So it's a prime area to do a Western, and I'm kind of excited about this. Tell us how you guys came to Capernaum and what you thought about doing it there.
Well, George and I were at NRB, and we just decided, we met with Tammy Lane for Capernaum Studios, and she was asking me to become the attorney there. And so I figured, well, why don't I go figure out what I'm getting myself into? So George and I went to Capernaum Studios, and we were just blown away. We just absolutely loved it. We saw the sets that they have, the 30 acres, the fields, the horses, it's just perfect for Prairie Winds. And immediately we kind of looked at each other and we just knew this was the right location. Spent time, talked to Tammy. I flew down a couple more times. And it just really solidified. So we're building that partnership to bring Prairie Winds there, to build the sets there. And we also want to allow people who become fans to come to Capernaum Studios and tour the Prairie Winds, where it's shot. And you can go see the Indian Village and the log cabin and the town and all of the things that we'll be building there. So that's exciting. As well as Capernaum Studios is growing. They have some amazing new things. I'm not going to talk about it. Let Tammy talk about that at the right time, but it is a perfect location. So Capernaum Studios is partnering with us. We also have Ribbo Ash Grayson for marketing. He's the top marketing executive, and his company is the top marketing company in Christian film. We also have Kappa Studios, who does post for The Chosen, has worked on House of David and Reagan and so many more. They are partnering with us. So we're just building a world-class powerhouse production. Holly, you and Isaac obviously are going to be a part of it. And so we're just so excited about moving forward.
I am too. And the thing is, that's very different. Well, much like what The Chosen has done. The people would love to go see The Chosen, at Midlothian, but you can't because they're filming there. There's other things going on there. So, it's not open to the public. We at Capernaum, of course, have the village from the first, second, and third season. But what I love about this is people are going to be able to come see your sets and be able to tour it, and maybe not necessarily while you're filming, but it's becoming a part of where people can go, oh, I want to go see Prairie Winds where it's filmed, and there'll be a tour set up. I think that's amazing. I think it's very rare these days.
I would love to get people there to experience the Prairie Winds overnight camp. To have a fire camp there and sort of live that life for a moment and just experience it, the food, the shelter, all of those things. I think that can really change lives, but also allow us to bring people together in small communities, even for a brief time. That's in my mind. We haven't really talked about it.
I love that idea. I want to be there. I want to go on the camp out first. I want to do that.
Imagine bringing your kids and you're camping out with your kids under the stars and in a show that you love. Yeah.
My grandkids would love that. The teenagers would love that. Really. I mean, this hits something that a lot of people, dream of doing a dream vacation or doing that. Universal is building north of Frisco. They're going to be doing a theme park there. There are so many things coming to Texas, but this to me is a very rare opportunity and rare experience that people can plan a vacation around. So this is exciting that you guys are doing this. Tell us about 3 Day Studio now. When do you project starting on this, or do you have that projected date yet? I know you've got an idea of the story of the movie to launch it. How's it going with 3 Day Studio?
Yeah, we are just now starting our financial raise, which is starts out, I guess we give you some SEC legal stuff. Starts as a Reg D, and then it moves into a Reg A, which is really a mini IPO for the studio. And that will allow us then with that financing to move forward with Prairie Winds, which should start shooting in the spring. So we're going to start casting soon. And that's going to be an exciting thing. We've had a bunch of people already throw their audition in the hat, got ahead of the game, but we haven't decided exactly on who's going to do that casting for us. So as soon as we get that, we'll get that out to everyone else. And we have a whole group of other feature films that we would like to work on as well. So as we fund it, we're funding the whole studio and the film fund, if you will. So it's very exciting to move forward to that next level. And other than that, I think the great thing about 3 Day Studios, and probably absolutely Prairie Winds, is that everything is completely about Jesus Christ. It is Christ-centric. And instead of kind of putting it on the nose or hitting people over the head with it, what we do is you get to watch people have faith as a big normal part of their life. And if you were ever on the prairie and there were so many difficulties, you would be praying. And Ma and Pa pray, and little Emma prays, and they share their faith with other people. Emma's going to share her faith with the Indian tribe, and that's going to be very exciting. So Christians will love to have their family watch as Christianity plays out on in the West, on the prairie, with the Thompson family.
And faith, I'm sorry,
Okay.
That faith is challenged too. Again, just like in contemporary times now. But the veracity of and the fidelity to their faith and to the Bible and Scripture is sustained, and you can see how powerful it really is.
You know, I think with America's 250th birthday coming up next year, what a great time to launch this show. And what a great time to celebrate our heritage, patriotism, prayer, faith, because that's going to be a big focus, you know, of how this nation began. So I see it coinciding great with that. I'm just saying 2026, let's just expect it. I hope. Well, guys, gentlemen, it's been great discussing this. I'm excited for people who want to see. First of all, George, I saw your amazing sizzle or trailer or whatever you want to call it. I loved it. I mean, it brings you right into that world. Where can people see that and or keep in touch with you guys to find out the updates on when they can expect Prairie Winds?
Just go to our website, 3daysstudios.com. 3daysstudios.com. And they'll be able to watch that, but they'll also learn about, you know, the opportunity for investing.
Wonderful. Ah, Joel, anything else? Last words?
I guess what I would love to just thank everybody who's gotten behind it and gotten involved, and Tammy Lane, the folks at Kappa, Ash Grayson, you, Holly, Isaac, and just so many more. I can't thank everybody. There's already a giant list, Hank Irwin, and I'm so excited to have such an incredible group of people behind Prairie Winds and what we're doing with 3D Studios.
Well, we will, our audience is a praying audience. We'll be praying for you guys and have them go to 3 Day Studios to check out the amazing sizzle reel, I call it a sizzle reel trailer for Prairie Winds, and keep you guys in prayer and keep us updated on when we can expect to see it. God bless.
Thank you so much, Holly.
Thank you so much, Holly. Hi, I'm George Escobar with 3 Day Studios.
I'm Joel Bunkowske with 3 Day Studios.
I just wanted you to know that I've been wanting to be on Faith on Film for 10 years, and I'm finally on. I love Faith on Film. Thank you.
You're watching Faith on Film.
What do we have to gain?
Pretty much everything.
I have loved you every day, every hour, every minute, every second ever since.
We don't always get what we want, but we always get what we need. We're connected. All of us.
What makes Capernaum Studios different from other movie studios? We believe in empowering filmmakers to make stories that matter, inspire, uplift, and transform lives. From historically authentic sets to state-of-the-art, fully equipped sound stages, we offer immersive LED and green screen stages, ICVFX virtual production, period to modern sets, a first-century village featured in The Chosen, and much more. We provide everything filmmakers need to focus on what matters in making their vision a reality, producing meaningful content affordably without compromising creativity. Discovering what's possible when creativity meets purpose. Capernaum Studios, empowering filmmakers to make dreams a reality.
Holly, that was an exciting interview.
I love that. I love their enthusiasm, their excitement, and their vision. You know, visionaries are always interesting to interview because it's not just the people who are given a script and they directed it or given something, they've done it. These are the people who create it, think of it, live it, breathe it, you know, want to see it done. And I just love that visionary. And honestly, Little House on the Prairie just had a reunion. I think they mentioned that in June and this summer. And it's interesting because there are a bunch of liberals that are stars in that show anyway, but it's funny to see, I mean, especially, you know, the girl that was, you know, the sweet one, the star, but, you know, but they're reaching, you can see studios reaching for that family audience, reaching to again, especially now in this political time where we're focused on families, we're focused on family entertainment. We're trying to get back to the morals and values and things that, you know, that we all love. And they're hearkening back to shows that were popular. So I see how they pull that up again. Prairie Winds is going to be like that, but with the faith element in there. And we've never had anything like that, I don't think. I mean, there's a few I know that other shows kind of like period pieces, but this is going to be also, Isaac, something that people can come and visit at Capernaum Studios. They're set.
Absolutely, because they are going to be doing a lot, if not all of the filming at Capernaum Studios, right?
Yeah, they're building sets there. They're going to build a Western town. They're building an Indian town for the Indians. The storyline involves both. And they've already talked to Tammy about where they want to be on the back lot. I heard that conversation. So it's exciting. Like it's a real thing. You know what I mean? They're really planning where it's going to be. And then people can come. I mean, I love George, when he says, oh, I even want people to come and maybe do a campfire and do where they can spend the night and they're out there with horses and around the campfire. Oh, that's fun. I mean, that's something that so many families would love to do.
Well, I remember I always used to watch Little House on the Prairie, and I always felt like, man, I wish I could go there and be a part of them and just experience what they're going through. And for some reason, I've always loved that time period. Anyways, I wish I could have been born in that time period. But this is a very creative thing George is doing there by saying, you know what, we got the show, we got all this. Let's invite people to come and partake and be a part of what we're doing. Maybe not be a part of the show, but be a part of that whole environment.
Yes.
That is exciting.
Yeah. On set and be part of it. I know I want to too. I want to go spend the night. Then I know the studio, but I want to go out there and do it. But I also love, Michael Landon. Everyone's so connected with him. And he was the one that carried the show and his spirit and his love and his father figure. So it's going to be very important for them to have those characters that, have that spiritual appeal and that fatherly, motherly appeal, and the ones that people like, ooh, I want to see what happens to this family and to these people. So I'll be very interested to see who they cast and how that goes, because that was really what made Little House on the Prairie, really, was Michael Landon,
Holly, I just had a brainstorm.
What?
We should do a show, maybe even 2 shows, I don't know, at one of these campfire things. We'll be there as part of the whole thing, and we should do a show from there.
I have to go buy the hat and I have to go buy some boots. So, okay, let's figure out. We'll plan on that. When they build the set, we'll figure out when we're going to do it. I think that's a great idea, Isaac. We will do that. Absolutely. And we will be on the prairie with Prairie Winds and out there on the prairie. And listen, I've driven back on that back property. There are buffalo back there. There's deer back there. There's 2 or 3, and like they're roaming free. It's not a joke. It's funny how there's lots of wildlife back there. So it's definitely the prairie. It's going to be fun though. People are going to love this. People are going to love it. Well, I'm excited.
I'm really looking forward to that now. But of course, now we have pretty much run out of time on the show. So this is it for today, folks. I just want to remind you to go check out our website, faithonfilmtv.com. That's faithonfilmtv.com. And you know what? I'm going to ask you to just write us a little note. We love to receive your emails. So write us a little note at faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. Let us know where you are watching us from. Holly, again, you outdid yourself with another wonderful interview.
Oh, thanks, Isaac. Thanks, everyone. God bless everyone.
Bye-bye now.
Write to us at faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Faith on Film TV. Also, go to our YouTube channel, Faith on Film TV, and hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications on our latest Faith on Film shows.